weird. All right, final boss, and then I can play some Plants vs. Zombies for fun. There's a one-off thing here. Surprising that the Pokemon Company doesn't seem to be churning out another cheap remake by Ilka this year. Yeah, that's what I feel too, honestly. I'm also surprised that Mario's still chasing Donkey Kong down this one street this entire time. And now I guess the same thing's gonna happen as last time. He still has all the minis. Or at least these 5. Yeah, this is a strange video game, man. Mario Toy Company. All right. It's time to conclude this amazing adventure. This has really been a spiritual journey, and part of me can't believe that it's about to end. Because this has got to be like one of the best playthroughs ever done on this channel, like at all. Does he have a robot? We were just talking about Plants vs. Zombies, and now Donkey Kong out here is pulling like Dr. Edgar Zomboss, pulling up onto the roof. I'm on here? What does it want me to do? What? What? I can't like ground pound or anything. Oh, there's a, oh. Okay, so like same old, same old? Oh, hit the hands and free the minis, I guess. And then something will happen. Oh. Oh, I was getting ready to do a handstand jump. I just went to do a handstand and got squished. A regular jump should be able to do that. You know that Steam can remove games from your library? How rare does it happen, and what are the causes that can cause it? How consistent are those causes? That's a good question, and I actually don't know the answer. It's never happened to me, it's never happened to anyone that I know, but I have heard some instances of it online. Because I remember hearing, another thing I remember hearing about was that whole situation with like that Ubisoft exec that was like, people need to get used to not owning their games. And people being like really ticked off at that. But I remember some platformers saying like, well, that is technically the case for digital games a lot of the time anyway. Like the Steam user agreement or whatever the heck there says that you're not actually owning these games. You're basically just getting the license to play them. Is what it basically is, apparently. Oh, and I hit the main body and that basically worked there. Okay. And then... oh, it doesn't need to be the main body, I guess, or something. But yeah, you have to get banned on Steam for it to happen, pretty sure? Probably. Have to be very, very naughty. Have to be on Santa's naughty list if you want that to happen, I guess. No, give me my barrel! Alright, so... oh, you've got to be kidding me. So... yeah, I hit DK with my barrel. And so that should be rather hard considering Steam bans part of their platform at the same time and not an account completely, you believe? Like you have to scam people on the Steam store or something? Maybe. I should probably do some research into it at some point because it is something I'm a little bit curious about as well. Bonk. Okay. So just free all the minis and a thing will happen, I guess? Except I'm also one-shottable here, unlike the world bosses, where I can take a few hits. Bonk. I basically have to jump down to be able to hit him. I don't think that I'd be able to throw it from up here. I think it'll just land on the above platform. I couldn't even get there in time. Dang it. This is an interesting OST that we have here, I must say. Oh, he's getting so frustrated that he's losing his minis in the fists. I think if he really wanted to hold on to them, he'd have them not be in the robot fists that he's attacking with. But I mean, what do I know? Yeah, I was right about that, just going on the top platform. But yeah, if I'm in midair, he's not hitting me with the thing. Whoa. Oh, more barrels. What? What? Oh, man. There's a VPN to buy the game? What, to avoid getting banned on Steam? Wait, what? There's a VPN, but I doubt they ban people for using a VPN. Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised about that if that were the case there. Hardly do it since regional prices for games are set up by the ones listing the games on the store. What? Not by Steam itself? Whoa. It looked like there was a checkpoint at like half of the minis being saved though. What? But yeah, Valve is such a handoff approach. I don't think that they do, but I don't know for sure. Dang you. Yeah, just give me more of these up above barrels. Dang it, I was about to throw that. No! So how do I get those ones without just dying immediately? I don't understand, man. What? Okay, will I stay on balance if you do that? Well, no. What? Oh, come on! This battlefield is so weird! Oh, I can throw them at him there. Oh, and then his attack stops. Oh. No! It's just like the slowest moving little squish ever did me in. I have to start from the beginning again. Man. I like the goofy little pop sound effect. Yeah, I can't believe that this game is the sequel to the original Donkey Kong arcade game. If I play things on this channel in order, maybe I should have played that first before this came out in hindsight. Oh, well. What? I'm pretty sure I was in midair. Give me this. Okay. Bonk. Yeah, it's such a weird battle arena. I have to, like, climb up here to get barrels. And then climb down just to hit them. Come on. And when did DK get a friggin' Eggman-like robot? I can't even get over here in time. Okay. Bonk. Alright. I'm back to here again. Oh, I can do my triple jump thingamabob even off of the hand. Cool. I can't get there in time. I have to basically stick around the center and then grab wherever it goes. Bonk. I'm glad that that worked. No! Okay, barrel. Okay. And then this, where I do that. Okay. And then keep on doing it some more, I guess? Did freeing the minis actually do something? I wonder. Wait, I'm so slow. Oh, I just need to do one more. Did I do the thing? Also, when I think Donkey Kong, I don't think someone that would be adept at using technology. I think about the vine-swinging ape from Donkey Kong Country. Oh, I guess I did it! Wow, all the minis are saved. I was pissed off.
Hey, it's okay. Here.
What? Wow, that's gotta be like one of the greatest stories ever told in video game history. And who says games can't be art? Wow. That. By Nintendo Software Technology Corporation. Wow, that was probably like the greatest spiritual journey I've ever embarked on, let me tell you right now. That was just like absolutely out of this world, holy crap. I never knew that this game needed a remake, but now I'm completely convinced, like, man, that... What even do I say now? That was, yeah, definitely a game of all time, no doubt about that. Wow, that... I forget. I'm pretty sure it was during the first stream. Because, yeah, second stream was, like, doing the co-op and stuff, and then third stream was this one. So it was definitely sometime during the first stream. I think it was in the Ice World that we were, talking about. It wasn't awful or anything like that, but I'll maintain my stance that I discussed during the first stream, where it really feels like this should have been, like, maybe a $20 to $30 game. Or, like, the kind of thing where it's, like, you get it, like, for some sort of bonus or something like that with some other game. Where it's like, oh, maybe you bought Super Mario 3D World or Super Mario Odyssey, and then you get a copy of Mario vs. Donkey Kong, like, in, like, a bundle or something like that. Like, a special promotional thing. I think that there was a time on the Wii U. I don't remember what game it was or what kind of promotion they were doing, but there was a thing where it was like you got some game and then you got a download code to choose like one of 4 games or something like that. And Pikmin 3 was one of them. So Pikmin 3 is like one of the few games on my Wii U that I have digitally rather than physically. I'm fairly certain, unless I picked it up physically later. But I have Pikmin 3 digitally downloaded on my Switch because it was like a freebie for getting some other game, and I had the choice of Pikmin 3 or some other game. And this feels like the kind of game that could go into that kind of niche. Like maybe you buy some big Mario game like Mario Kart or Mario, no, maybe not Mario Party, I don't know. But some bigger Mario game, or it's like you buy that, and then you can get the choice of like a smaller Mario game to pick up, or something like that. Like maybe Mario Party, whatever the heck the first one was on the Switch. They probably wouldn't do it with Superstars since that's been more recent. But the first one on the Switch, maybe that's an option. Maybe Mario vs. Donkey Kong here is an option. Maybe the Mario sports games are options, like Mario Tennis Aces, Mario Golf Super Rush, or Mario Strikers Battle League. Like, what if you had the choice of those 3 sports games, or Mario versus Donkey Kong? Of like, you get some big Mario game, some big new release, and then here's like a download code that you can redeem, and then it lets you get one of those 4 games digitally for free. That feels like the niche that this game should have gone into, of like a $20 to $30 game, but is also like a free promotional thing that you have the option to get from several different options as like a bonus for getting some other game. A $65 game, like at least it's not full price of $80, but $65 is absolutely insane. I think I remember seeing this one video a little while back that was discussing how some indie games are doing like really, really good lately. Like Pal World, Lethal Company, Among Us from a few years ago, Helldivers 2. Like all these much smaller independent studio projects that absolutely made waves and were like really great games people were seeing it as. Because for a long time, a lot of people have seen it as like, oh, you want a really good quality game, you gotta shell out for like the big AAA massive studio games. But you're playing things like Helldivers 2, Pal World, Lethal Company, all these smaller studio games, where the games themselves are either of a higher quality or like the same quality of like these big studio games that are coming out anyway. Like you play something like Pal World and it's a little bit of an unfinished mess, but you play something like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and it's even more of an unfinished mess. So nowadays, like we're kind of reaching the era where these smaller studios are genuinely offering like a better product for less price than the than AAA developers can offer. Well, we've been in that phase for a while. I should rephrase and say that's more catching on now, with more of these indie games that are starting to get a lot of steam. Like, look at Pal World, that was, what, like 8 million something units in the opening weekend? Scarlet and Violet, I think, was 10. So Scarlet and Violet was still more. But for this indie game to come out of nowhere and even come close to rivaling that is absolutely insane. Or, Helldivers 2, that was a sequel to this niche game that no one had really heard of all that much, and then it just took off and became like this thing that took the internet by storm. Like, we're really reaching this era where it's like you can spend a fraction of the cost of these AAA games and get an experience that's so much better. And here's Mario vs. Donkey Kong for $65 that feels like it should be like a $20 game, or like some bonus additional thing, and it's really like, huh, is it really worth shelling out for this when I can play like some indie game by some other small studio that gives me like much better quality? I could probably find like all sorts of indie puzzle games. I'd get a lot more enjoyment out of this wacky experience here, is what I'm feeling like. I feel like that kind of is the thing that I can't help but feel at the end of this playthrough, is just like, why would you play this over these other kinds of things? But yeah, AA game renaissance after indie renaissance, it's always a cycle. And yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, another example of a game that kind of came out of not necessarily nowhere, but in relative to like a super big AAA game, nowhere at least. And it, yeah, issue is that on one hand, small studio games are cheaper and can offer you so much fun nowadays. On top of it, people are just tired of big studios and their crappy in-game monetization, grind, and others on top of the video game prices for those games being the same or even more expensive while the quality's just going down. Yeah, at least with stuff like this, Nintendo games, you usually don't really have to worry about like microtransactions or there being too much of a grind. Like there's nothing like that in this game, for example. But it's just like a fairly steep price for a very just mediocre game. Because as I was mentioning earlier, like with this whole, wait, what does this say? DK plus. I thought it said DK4 at first. What an amazing final boss art here. What this game is basically combining the platforming of Mario with puzzle elements, but not fully embracing either or, and toning down both of those into a much lesser experience that you can get in a standalone Mario platformer like any of the new Super Mario Bros. Games or Mario Bros. Wonder or whatever the heck. And toning down the puzzle elements from so many other puzzle games that you could play instead. So it's combining these two aspects, but not fully embracing them both in like a really nice harmony. Instead, it's just toning them down to things that just don't feel all that right. Like there's a lot of different examples that you can draw on for puzzle games, but for the Mario platforming, it feels like a like knockoff Mario game that tried to be like Mario platforming but was clunky, and it just does not control the same, and it's like weird and different and stuff. It feels like a wannabe Mario platformer. So it combines these two elements, lessens them, and then literally over half of the levels, because you count this and then you count like this level of the first 8 worlds. So literally over half of the levels are escort missions with really not so great AI. So like if that's not a recipe for a great video game right there, I don't know what is. So again, to sum up, Mario platforming, but not, with puzzle elements that aren't really super great, and over half the levels are escort missions, and the game is $65. So like, does that really sound like it's selling the game all that well? Yeah, yeah. Let's see here. You would pay $20 for this game, more like 10, I think. Man. I think that $20 would be fair for this game, but I wouldn't pay it myself. Actually, is it? Maybe I'll say 15. Something like that. Because again, when you think about like the much higher quality that you can get for much less with things like these smaller indie projects, it's like, why would you buy this game? I wouldn't have bought this game if I wasn't a content creator. I just bought this to showcase on the channel and be able to have this discussion at the end of like, is it worth it? And I really don't think it is. Whoops, I hit X to do like time attack and it's, what? And now I'm doing level EX4. What? I guess for just like speedrunning stuff? No, I don't want to. AAA gaming is bleeding, stabbed by the greediness of those same studios. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's the final boss fight. Isn't Mario hit 3 times and done? Just jump on Donkey Kong's head 3 times or something like that. Now hit 7 times and done. Yeah, the two elements of Mario platforming and the puzzle elements didn't really feel like they complemented each other super well here. But yeah, amount of level is overcompensating for how shallow the gameplay loop is. Yeah. Yeah. Harmonious sacrificing his wallets for the sake of ours. Yeah. You know me. Not all heroes wear capes. Yeah, it's funny that 2 games that I both really didn't like came out on the exact same day. Mario vs. Donkey Kong and Skull and Bones. Harmonia the wallet Jesus. Hey, doing this channel is what finances these games. So all y'all nerds, whoops, my leg is hitting the bumper. All y'all nerds tuning into this is what makes this possible. Because it's literally the revenue from this channel that pays for any games or equipment purchased on this channel. Is the case. It feeds into itself. So, yeah. Y'all have enabled me to put myself through this. Really, I felt like the puzzle and platform just got in the way of each other. Yeah, rather than being able to fully embrace one or the other. As the case, and if you want the platform, just play like a dedicated Mario platformer game and you'll have like a good, fun, enjoyable gameplay experience. Like Mario Wonder, for example. That was a fun game. I liked that game. This game, I did not like. And it's also so weird, again, that this is a game that they chose to remake. Because, again, like, there's some absolute bangers that they've chosen to remake on the Switch. Like, Metroid Prime Remastered. Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door coming out here. Sometime probably this summerish or something like that. But Mario vs. Donkey Kong? This 2004 Game Boy Advance game? Like, really? Also, usually after a game comes out, I see Nintendo continue to market it for a while. I've seen one Twitter ad for this game since it came out, I think. I don't know. You can have good puzzle platformers, but you need better harmony than this. Yeah, and I'm sure there's lots of games out there that have done it better. And yeah, this was not great.